Welcome to Relax Time Radio, broadcast nightly from 7:30 to 9 p.m. on Radio Thailand, Chiang Mai.
Hey, welcome to Relax Time Radio.
Good evening.
You're here with Mon and I. Mon
That's
and
right.
Paul. That's my name. It's the Friday show. You've been a little bit sick, Mon. I'm glad that you managed to... Yeah. You're feeling better?
I do. I might just have to cough a little bit in between.
Okay.
I'm trying not to.
Can you do the professional head turn away from the mic kind of cough?
Obviously.
Okay. So we're going to be playing new music for you tonight, newly released music since it's a Friday.
Yay.
And we're also going to be talking about one of our travel, entrepreneurship and social impact topics.
Yeah.
This week it's
going to be a little bit more controversial today.
controversial.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about voluntourism.
Mm-hmm.
And if people don't know what it is, for some particular areas related, it's also called the white savior complex. So we're going to take on this topic a little bit today.
Right. Yeah, actually, DJ Nam and I, we had a show and we were talking about, we were doing like very small segments on things that you could do in Chiang Mai, and we covered volunteering. And because we covered like volunteering, we also like touched on this topic. But we just said a few things about it. We just said a couple of sentences about it. We didn't. But today we're going to actually dig into it.
Dig
a bit deep. Since you're actually really a professional, like, more or less a professional. What is
volunteer?
The word? Is that a? How do you say? How can you be a professional volunteer? Does that even make sense?
I don't think I'm not sure. I do spend a lot of time and energy and also money on helping others, which I love doing. And yeah.
I've got it. You're an experienced volunteer.
Thank you.
And
yeah.
I have a little bit of experience myself, nowhere near as much.
That's true.
Okay, so right now we have started our YouTube live stream. I haven't posted it on the Facebook page yet, but I will do in a moment once we're playing a little bit of music. We would love to get your thoughts on this topic, so you can get involved in the conversation with us. You can send them to Relax Time Radio on Facebook. Just search Relax Time Radio. If you search it in Google, you'll find our Facebook page as well. Or you could, when we post the live stream link, you could also send it in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, please.
As well. Okay. You could also give us a call at any time tonight on 053-276-793. And if you don't feel like asking a question about the topic, you could just send in a song request. Okay, so we're going to start we're actually fanatical about Biba Doobie, so we're going to start the show as usual with Biba Doobie, Space Cadet.
That's right.
And get back to you with our talk in a moment. Okay.
Yeah, be prepared.
Catch you soon. Send in your comments and requests, questions. And see you after a little bit of Biba Doobie.
Yeah.
Take it away, Biba Doobie.
Feeling shit again. Haven't left my bed. Never brush my hair. And if you look me in the eyes, you'll see that I don't be sitting tight, waiting to blow our brains away. Through the Milky Way, past the morning sun, Pluto is light years away, and all our worries, they're all gone. So quit being so negative. It's fine, it's only a temporary fix. You say I don't write happy songs, so I guess this is the first one. Through the Milky Way, past the morning sun, Pluto is light years away, and all our worries, they're all gone.
Don't be scared to leave yourself open. Dreams, bullshit seeds, the rules are meant to be broken. Now the voice in my head is a ghost singing songs like, boy, stay away from the campfire. You got a head like stone. Don't be playing for the vampires. One bite and you never come home. Boy, stay away from the campfire. You got a head like stone. Don't be playing for the vampires. One bite and you never come home. One bite and you never come home.
Remorseful what? You people have done everything in the world to me. Doesn't that give me equal right? I could do anything I want to you people at any time I want to, because that's what you've done to me. If you spit in my face and throw me in solitary confinement for nothing, what do you think's gonna happen when I get out of here? I don't need to kill anyone. Take it. I have it here.
Schools run by fools, leave to get education. Wake from your sleep, learn to love your sedation. Now the voice in my head is a ghost singing songs like, boy, stay away from the campfire. You got a head like stone. Don't be playing for the vampires. One bite and you never come home. Boy, stay away from the campfire.
been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hey, we're back. I'm pretty happy with those opening two songs. The second one was Jerry Cinnamon, Campfire Vampire.
That was a good one.
That's not an entirely new song, but he had a new song out today, and I went back and listened. I'd never listened to him before, and I found that one, which I
Yeah.
like better than his new
very
song.
nice.
Sorry, Jerry. Okay, so should we get into? Let's get into it.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, where do we start?
So maybe we should explain what we are talking about today. So maybe we should give a little definition of what is voluntourism in the white savior complex.
Actually, because the word, there's been like enough articles written about it now that in my mind, like the word voluntourism had come to like seem negative, but in actual fact, it's supposed to be a neutral word. I mean, you know, there are some people that use it in a positive sense.
Right.
And I think the origins of it, I'm not sure like how far back it goes, but I definitely remember, you know, when I was a student years ago, and then before that I'd heard of students taking a year out from university or something like that, you know, Western students taking a year out from university, and instead of just traveling with a sort of mission to help somewhere, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I think I also was aware that people people could even like do it before they went and try and, you know, and now this is where like the personal benefit doing it for yourself comes in. Like people could put it on their CV and look better to a prospective college or university. This is a big thing, I think, in America as well.
Yeah.
So that's how I like first was aware of this kind, you know, this volunteering, travel volunteering.
Right. I think there are a few different distinctions, right? So there's voluntourism, and there's then the white savior complex. So what we understand under volunteerism is literally just the people who go out to travel and help other people under, like, for example, all these websites where you can find places to work and get just like accommodation and food for free, for example, right?
Yep.
Like this exchange kind of thing.
Okay.
And then the voluntourism is a thing where volunteers actually also get kind of like, you know, they pay a lot of money to go and help. So there's literally a touristic aspect of it. So that means, like, for example, there are people who pay $2,500 from like any other country in the world who come to Thailand to actually go, for example, on a I don't want to say this word because it's very specific to an actual religion, but they go on a travel, for example, to teach English, and then they bring food and they bring clothes and they do a lot of like education work in different senses, right?
Yeah.
But they pay thousands of dollars, which wouldn't be the actual cost of to come here and stay there. So the places who do offer these tours also make money off the volunteers.
So, like, but are there some like organizations doing this, and they're basically running as a non-profit? In other words, they take those people's money and after costs donate that into the cause as well, or is this kind of thing that you're talking about always there's a profit motive in it usually? Or
That's a good question. I think it's like, I don't know any numbers, right? But I would say it's 50-50 to get the right place to be.
Right.
But volunteering is not supposed to be a paid thing from either side. So if you volunteer, you give your time and energy to something that is supposed to help other people, and the maximum exchange of it is free accommodation and food. Now, if you go and volunteer and the places, for example, they're like the non-profits or the NGOs, they're absolutely not in the place to pay for your food and accommodation, then the only thing basically that you should be paying for is your own accommodation food. But you shouldn't be charge 2,500, 3,000, whatever crazy amount. It's ludicrous, right?
Yep.
Amount of money to go there just so you have this experience, because then this is voluntourism, right?
Yeah, I got you.
So now, just to finish this definition thing of the distinctions between that, so the white savior complex has been actually so this very specific word has been in connection with Africa specifically,
Yeah.
because it started to be a thing where white people would go to help non-white people of color, to help them, but they would start taking pictures with them and to get basically the benefit of the I'm here to help everyone
Yeah.
on, for example, social media. So with social media, this was a huge thing, for example, right?
Yeah, I've seen it all. I've seen this thing, and
Yeah.
examples, and people sort of mock the people who've done it.
Yeah. And so there are also two different things, right? Are you going and helping and someone else takes a picture and posts of you, for example, the organization? That's not white savior complex. But if you go and you work like 2-3 hours just to do a few English lessons, and then but you need to post, like, take selfies with everyone to make sure everyone sees that you do something, that's definitely white savior.
Well, but also, I mean, the phrase, I've heard it, but it also definitely implies something more deeper psychologically, which would be that
Yeah.
people, I mean, okay, we're using the word white, but we're sort of like talking about people from the West, especially who are white, thinking that because they come from some kind of a developed nation or something like that, that they automatically know how to help, know how to do things better, or bring something that someone in Africa, for example,
Yeah.
doesn't know and can't do.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, I've run into in Thailand, living here, because you constantly
everywhere.
run into people. Just because they're from the West, they just assume that they know better how everything
Right.
should work.
Yeah. If I may be able to make an example from my experiences, because
Yeah.
I have it literally every single weekend when I go help. So I help out in a specific place, right? And we do have two different things that we do there. But we do have rescued elephants, right?
Yeah.
And we do have people who come for the Instagram. Fine. That's not a problem. But then they complain about that apparently our elephants are not treated well. And we are wondering, we're like, why do you think that? And then they complain about that they are not living free, and that all elephants should be wild and in freedom. I say, like, sure, if we humans would have not taken away all of the habitat that
Right.
elephants need, and if we would not have captured them hundreds of years ago and would literally put them in captivity, right? Like, so all of these things, I try to explain that. And then I
Yep.
say, then for sure they could live free, but now there is no, like, it is literally
There-
not a solution.
There isn't because I was listening to on a different sort of slightly sideways topic. The people who are calculating the loss of biodiversity, the loss of species, the sixth mass extinction, which is currently going on.
Yeah.
The number one cause. There are many different causes, obviously, but the number one cause is habitat loss.
Loss of habitat, yeah. And guess who's been the ones that would take the habitat away? All of us.
Exactly.
And it didn't start with you or me. It started like way back then. But we need to understand that impact. And now we need to understand that we can't just push a reset button and then let every wild animal go free.
Right.
The first thing that happens if we let these elephants go are they go to the next villages and run over the houses trying to find the food that they know.
Right.
Because they don't know any other food.
I mean, that's a big thing in some parts of the world, like in India, parts of Africa, conflict between animals and, say,
Yeah,
villagers or farmers.
Yeah, like the tigers in Kerala, India,
right.
right? Yeah. So, and this is one thing where the white savior complex comes out, like, right? Because we have also this question of how does it actually show up? So we had this example of social media where people have to post selfies all day long, whatever. Do take your photos and your memories, right? But do you have to really show them around for the benefit of getting like 500 likes or for the validation from other people, like what an amazing person you are that you're helping all day long. Sure, we all need validation, but what about you get them from the people that you actually help?
Right. Yeah, that's a tough one, because there are like so many different types of use of social media, and I know people that do a lot of let's just say volunteer work activism, and they're using social media a lot and trying to get as many likes as possible, but that's because they want to spread their message.
Right.
So there are different reasons. You could be
Right.
like, in other words, I'm saying that there could be a legitimate reason why you're posting something that you've done to try and get as many likes as possible, because you simply want to spread the message and get more people involved. But I know what you're talking about. You're talking about something different.
Right. But honestly, if you want to spread the message,
Narcissism,
wouldn't you not be on the photo then? Or on the, would you not be in the center of attention then? That's what I always think, right?
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
If you want to spread the message of the cause that you're helping, you shouldn't be the center of attention yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I kind of agree, but then, well, I kind of agree, but sometimes movements have leaders, and so you can see that there's like a personality.
Right.
There's a personality element to it.
Okay, if we take an example. So, for example, Beyonce had a movement for girls all over the world, right? To be strong, to be themselves, to show up, and to have opportunities and be whoever they want to be, right? She was not even in the advertisement.
Okay.
And I mean, obviously, like, her name was up front, but she was not in the advertisement. I think that's a strong statement, because she's not the center of attention, but would she be, it would take away from the message of who's actually going to be the...
Good point.
Yeah. So I do believe you're totally right. There are leaders, but also good leaders, they don't lead from the front. They can lead from behind too, they can guide. So I do understand that, because so the thing is that, would you ask me now, do you post pictures with you and the elephants or the the girls and everything? I do, but I always try to keep the balance of, as you say, what's the message, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why am I have to be in this picture there? So
right. Yeah, no. I think you're absolutely right. You've thought about it, and I absolutely agree. I was just sort of thinking of some examples of people I know, and yeah.
It's not an easy one, and I'm not saying like get out of the pictures.
Yeah.
As I say, I'm in the pictures too, right? It's like I don't think we should also not be in the pictures, but keep the balance. Like, if you want to make it about the message, make it about the message. If you want to show, for example, how it looks like to be there, like behind the scenes stories and everything, you should totally be in the pictures, because this is what storytelling is about, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of discussion as well about like celebrities and causes, and I saw an interesting thing on like Twitter a couple of weeks back. Emma Watson, I think she's in the Harry Potter films. I think I'm right. So I think she was I've forgotten the character's name anyway, but I think she's in the Harry Potter films, and Hermione. Yeah, that's right. Hermione, so. Right. Okay, so anyway, she's been outspoken in a lot of causes, and she seems to like be hungry to learn about all sorts of things in the world. And I actually saw this like philosopher and writer say of her that she hadn't realized, until Emma Watson thought of a single example of a celebrity using their celebrity in effectively for good. But so I guess it's possible. It is. It's not. Yeah.
And I totally agree. You picked I think you picked a very, very good example. Emma Watson does do a lot of good things, but she's not front and center.
Right.
And I think that makes it so powerful as well, because everyone knows she's behind it, and she's like the driving force, but she doesn't need to be up front to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what else do we have to cover on this? So we've sort of defined. Have we defined it at this point?
Yeah, the
sort
three.
of.
Yeah,
the three.
definitely.
We had voluntourism,
and the white savior complex.
and white savior complex.
Yeah.
All right. Should we take a musical break and
Yeah.
then come back for part 2?
Totally.
What are we going to talk about in part 2?
So definitely how we can be aware of it ourselves when it shows up, how we can,
Or aware of what we're actually doing.
Mhm, yeah.
When we volunteer. Okay.
Exactly. And also what kind of harm it can do
Okay.
and how we can prevent it.
All right. Let's take a musical break for a couple of songs. An unusual mix, let's say. Song by Gus Dapperton, Prune You Funny. Yeah, Prune You Top Funny. Gus Dapperton's crazy. And then slightly less crazy, but I wanted to play it because it's Coldplay. It's a new song from Coldplay. Just out like last week maybe, or really
They're my
recently,
favorite.
called Arabesque. Coldplay take a lot of criticism, but they've redeemed themselves for me by including Femi Kuti in their song and video, son of the great Fela Kuti. So check out that if you can find the video.
Love it.
Okay, Gus Dapperton,
Let's bring it on.
it's your turn.
I like the way that words come out your mouth. It takes me many miles to make them out. When strawberries sit superbly with you. You gotta make me love, I'm jealous.
sake of you, and we share the same love.
Comme deux gouttes d'eau, on se ressemble, comme provenant de la même mer, comme deux ruisseaux qui se rassemblent pour faire les grandes rivières. And we share the same blood.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
We're back. That was recorded on a rooftop in Jordan.
I know why they're my favorite band.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Didn't you hear that?
Oh, yeah, well. Actually, I have to say, like, I remember, I think I must have been a student at the time when their first album came out. And I really did love them at that time. I didn't always like everything they've done since then, but yeah, I think that was great.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can't always like everything.
no.
But I think I listened to them ever since was it X and Y 2007?
I don't know.
The album was X and Y, and I think they launched it 2007. That's when I lived in London, and I actually got to listen to them like all day long, and it was like a bliss. I was like, oh my god.
Well, they definitely they had to have been doing something right. They're one of the biggest bands in the world, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were in the news actually, along with the band Gorillaz, also from the UK recently.
Really?
Well, just on they've decided to like stop touring, or stop doing like.
No.
Well,
I haven't made it yet.
Well,
Don't
no.
stop.
They're gonna. It's an environmental thing, so they decided to like take a break until they can work out how to tour more environmentally friendly.
Oh, they can go on a ship. Like
Apparently-
Greta.
Well, that's a yacht. I was.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'll come on the yacht with them. They can
Okay.
play every night for me.
I mean, I like the sound of that. You know, the rock star yacht going around the world, sending rock stars around the world to play concerts.
They can
on
do it
yachts.
like Prince, right? So, I mean, I'm not sure how environmentally friendly is that, but Prince did his last world tour
Yeah.
in London, 21 concerts in a row every single day in the London O2 Stadium or whatever it was. And I went to one of his last concerts there, and they were all freaking sold out. All of them. I mean, I'm not sure if it's better to have a stadium full of people every single day traveling to the person or this one you know.
All right. Well, you've definitely won some brownie points mentioning Prince, because my brother and his girlfriend, they just said they were going to listen in today, and Carrie, she's a Prince a Prince fanatic. The house is like
Right.
covered in memorabilia.
Well, so my parents, they married to Purple Rain, so there we go.
Okay.
I got it a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it was forced on you. and
I
you-
literally
and
went for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the CD and everything. Oh,
All right, we better get back to our topic.
Yeah.
So, part 2 of voluntourism.
that's right.
Okay, so why can it sometimes not be helpful in social impact projects, and how could it be? How can we fix it?
Yeah. So if you take, for example, if you take an example from Africa, it kind of spread all over the world, right? But this is where it started to also leave that name behind, like the white savior complex. So imagine you're working there for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, in a school, or you help building houses or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you go into the class and it's your last, like maybe it's your second last day or your last day, whatever. You say, oh, before I fly out back home, I come back to say goodbye. I bring you little presents or whatever. And then, you know, life gets in the way, something goes wrong. You don't bring presents, you don't say goodbye, you just fly off.
Yeah.
So imagine what kind of impact that leaves on the kids. Not only now that they go through all of what they anyways have to go through in life, being poor, not having the same opportunities as we do, but now a white person comes along and say like, hey, I help you, and promises them things and then not sticking to it.
And they just vanish into thin air, sort
Yeah.
of thing, yeah.
Because they can, right?
Right.
And so this has not only a very strong mental, psychological impact, but it will also have a reverse, like, basically it's going to reverse the whole thing of, well, we come to help, and the kids someday, if that happens a lot, they might say then like, no, we don't want you here, like, you know, you never really help us, or you're never gonna do whatever you say. And this is gonna, like, this whole psychological impact has a way bigger impact than if you go for 4 weeks and help them with some schoolwork, to be very honest, right? And quite frankly, like, obviously that's a great help, but we really have to make sure that we understand what role we have psychologically there, right?
Right.
So how we show up, what we say, how we move and behave, what we show them who we are. So we can't just in our breaks go outside and smoke a cigarette and let them see that, because this is behavior that they might adopt later because they think like, well, this is what rich white people do. Or, it's like, it's not to be said that's the actual fact, but this is what, especially kids, this is how the connection works for them, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very big thing.
Yeah, I was thinking about a few things. Like, I was thinking in terms of skills. If you just decide that you'd like to go and volunteer, just you might genuinely want to do some good. You might want to. It might be a case of filling some time in your life, and you might just like the idea of it. You might have a deeper commitment, but you need to think about what you just mentioned. You need to think about the context in which you're arriving, the context in which you'll go away again, if that's the plan. If you're only going to be there for a short time, and you also need to think about, do you have any real skills, to bring to the situation? Because if you have real skills can almost always be applied, right?
Yeah.
Now I know people who run NGOs in Chiang Mai, and they sort of send they often got into the position of sending angry rejection letters to potential applicants because they weren't offering any skills. They just they're just turning up saying, oh yeah, I'd love to volunteer. So you have to think about all of these things, and then and that's even in the case of disaster relief efforts. So you could remember in some of the calls for help, like sometimes if a earthquake or something or a hurricane hits a place, that country and its people will call out for international aid, but they often specifically say we need these skills. People who know how to operate heavy lifting equipment and this kind of thing. They don't just need anybody.
Yeah.
1,000 people with no specific skills might just be getting in the way.
So that's a very great topic, and I'm a little bit torn apart on both ends. So you definitely need skills, and it doesn't matter what kind of skills, but do something really, really good and offer that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're great at writing, offer to write even blog posts, whatever. If that means you don't need to be there, don't make it a condition for you to be there. So then you can also work remotely for them and do your part, and then go and visit them for a bit. It doesn't need you to be there forever.
Oh, you just reminded me of another word that I saw on a page talking about this slacktivism.
Oh, what's that?
Well, it's like the idea that you can help from your armchair or your couch or your computer.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You could just send money, or like you say, you could. I mean, I don't know if that counts, but if you could write blog posts, stuff that will help spread a message, stuff that's valuable for, let's say, an NGO or some kind of organization doing work on the ground.
I tell you what, this helps if this person is committed. It doesn't help if you say I'm gonna do it, and then you're too busy forever. And then by the end you say, I'm so sorry, I actually cannot do it. I have my own work to do. No, for real though, we all have our own work to do.
Yes.
Right? Because somehow I can't pay my food on the market going but I'm a volunteer, I help other people. Can I get food for free? They ain't gonna look at me and be like, for sure, here you go.
I tell you what, I'm going to confess, I'm guilty of this in life, not in volunteering, but I can be guilty of this in life, and I'm trying to fix it. Saying that I'll do things, and then realizing I've said I'll do way more things than I can possibly do, and then
And that's it's not a thing of right. I totally understand it, right? But here's the thing: if you, at least is how I organize some volunteer work with other people too, because I try to help that as well, right? If you come to me and you're I would love to write one blog post and some social media posts for you, then I say this is how long it's going to take. This is what we can deliver for you. This is when we need it. I think, because I was a project manager for digital marketing, so I know how long this usually takes for people who know how to do it.
Yeah.
And we, as you said, we need skilled people, so this is, this is how long it's going to take you per week. Do you have these hours free? Only say yes if it's actually the case, right? And then they can say, like, they can think through their working time, their free time, their Netflix time, and whatever else time. If that's still time left, then they can say yes. Or the other way around. If they're so passionate to help us, please say yes. But if you think like, oh my God, no, the Netflix show is more important, then please just do ourselves the favor and don't waste our time, right? Because it is a waste of our time and energy too, because we need to run after you and whatever. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. But what you said about damn it, I just lost the train of thought.
Well, I mentioned like the idea that you could help. Do you really need to go and help if you could help from home? That was one idea I had. What else was there? Not sure. Maybe it'll pop up.
Oh, the angry reply. Wait.
The rejecting applicants because they didn't bring skills.
Right.
Well, let's
Okay.
keep going, and it'll come to you.
Sure.
That's what happens. Okay, so I mean, what would you say then, like, for people who are actually genuinely thinking about doing it? What kind of steps can they take in preparation, or how can they not make the mistake? How can they sort of like avoid the kind of mistakes we're talking about?
Yeah. I think the very first step is really to be aware, why do you want to go volunteering, right? So why do you actually want to volunteering? Is it for your Instagram and your Facebook? Then you might not want to do it. Is it to get validation that you don't have in your life? That's going to be a hard one too. Is it to actually help the people? But then, as you say, do you have the skills to help? You know, are the skills needed really? If people tell you we need you for 3 months, don't ask like, oh, I just want to do 1 month because I wanted to travel the other 2. If they really need you for 3, then you need to be ready to actually put the time in, right?
Yeah. It's in one sense it's kind of tricky, because I actually can think of some examples of people I know who, you know, just started out of passion and real compassion without skills, and they just learned the skills along the way, but they were in for the long haul.
Right.
So you know, sometimes that happens, doesn't it? I mean, that just kind of like people accidentally find that they just can't leave this problem unsolved. They can't run away from it. And then they end up committing themselves to something.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas there are other people I know, like for example, I know someone who works for UNICEF, and he's highly skilled.
Right.
And can just offer all sorts of skills to different organizations.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily have to commit to each one long term. He can just do what's needed. This kind of thing. So
now I also got my thought back. So what you said about, for example, the disaster release, right?
Yeah.
So when these immense hurricanes hit the Philippines 4 years ago, 2015, I believe. I actually applied for one very big charity, and they looked for 100% all of my skills. Project management, very specifically for organizing teams, managing teams, big teams, whatever.
Yeah.
Also with computer skills, tech skills, and that was 100% me. And I applied. They said like, we wish we had a person like you, but we were looking for someone who is religious. And I'm like,
oh.
Well, I can give you a lot of faith, but I can't give you any Christianity or Catholicism or anything like that. And I won't.
Have you come across this kind of thing much? Because I know that there are, you know, they're funded. I mean, you know, a lot of organizations are funded purely by evangelical groups and missionary groups.
You know, and this is what I think is, it's okay for me if they ask me to comply with their rules.
Yeah.
It's not okay for them to ask me to become a part of their religion in order to do work for them. And I think, like, I believe they miss out on people like me, because I would have spent 2 years there to rebuild rural areas, and I would have been one of the greatest people, I would say, because I worked in construction too before with my dad for a bit. So it would have been great for them.
You would have been perfect for it.
And they just missed out because they're like, you're not religious, and like, well, but the great thing is I believe in everything, you know, like I'm not gonna make a fuss about anyone else who believes in whatever they want, you know. So
yeah, got you.
But they probably would want me to give this support too. I would have been able to give psychological support, not religious. But anyway, so this was the train of thought I lost. But yeah, so I totally believe that if you don't have very specific skills, but you're, for example, great in just, if you're just good in, for example, with your hands, right? For example, in our nonprofit, we're looking to build enrichment toys for the elephants. So you don't need to have any skills if you can just follow a few instructions, right?
Yeah.
You just come and it's gonna be fun, and we just build bamboo enrichment toys for the elephants, right?
So in other words, there could be some organizations and some setups that are designed to allow relatively unskilled people to still contribute.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think this also is a great thing for and this is usually rather short-term engagements, basically, right? So the bamboo enrichment toys for the elephants should be like a 1-week thing. So if you indeed want to come and test, even if that volunteering is something for you, like you can come for a week and build toys for the elephants and watch them play, you know. Great, why not? It's fun.
Okay. Well, I suggest that we take a musical break and come back and wrap it up. I noticed that we've already probably talked about some of the things in part 3. But
That's okay.
But I have an idea, like we could actually talk about some examples of people and organizations we know as well, that you know, different kind of things, couldn't we, if we wanted to.
And I think the last question is a good one to go through how we can make it better.
Yeah, okay, great. All right, so let's play a little bit of music.
Yeah, what do you have
we'll
for
be back.
us?
Well, I have one like absolutely brand new release. It's Daniel Caesar and Jacob Collier with Time Alone With You. And then an Ariana Grande cover of a Thundercat song called Them Changes.
Oh, cool.
All right, so here we go. This is Jacob Collier. Oh, yeah. If you do have a question for us, you can still send it in to our Facebook page, Relax Time Radio, about the topic we've been discussing today. Or you could even, we have about 35 minutes left of the show. You could also send a song request if you'd like to hear a song. Okay, this is Jacob Collier, Time Alone With You.
Two, three, four, five.
If you wanna get sunshine, walking on the rooftop, moonlight, I'ma go get some time alone with you. Yeah, we could go dancing, moonlight, soak up the disco, moonlight. I dig it when I get that time alone with you.
It's a beautiful Sunday morning. You see the sun up in the sky. It's gonna shine on you.
When I'm alone with you. If you wanna get dirty, slipping on the mudslide, we could cut the chit chat. Give me that time alone with you.
Oh yeah.
We could skip the border, swim around the ocean. Moonlight, and octopus like when you give me that time alone with you.
It's a beautiful Sunday evening. And when you see the little moon, you know can let it shine on you. Open up the sky, let the world follow.
When I'm alone,
Out in the sunshine,
when I'm alone,
it's gonna shine on you.
all night star bright shines down on me. So good, so bright, you're all I see. At times may find our hearts grow heavy. So good, so bright. you wanna make it to Nirvana? Lay all day in bed with me and teach me how to love ya. You wanna be my partner? Well, baby, please believe me, loving me ain't easy. I'ma need some time with you. You gon' need some time with me. Who knows what we're gonna do? All I hope is you don't leave. All night, so bright. All night, shines down on me. I'ma need some time with you. So good, it's alright. It's alright. You're all I see. You gon' need some time with me. At times we may fight. Hearts go heavy. Hearts will go heavy. So good, it's alright. You're all I need. Who's that?
The most beautiful girl in the whole wide world, and she's mine, all mine. And I wanted to know that my feelings show. I need time, give me time alone. The most beautiful girl in the whole wide world, and she's mine, all mine. And I wanted to know that my feelings show. I need time, give me time alone. The most beautiful girl in the whole wide world, and she's mine, all mine. And I wanted to know that my feelings show. I need time, give me time
If you wanna get sunshine, walking on the rooftop, moonlight. We could cut the chit chat. I dig it when I get that. Moonlight. I'ma go get some time alone with you. Time alone with you. Time alone with you.
Nobody move, there's blood on the floor. And I can't find my heart. So where did it go? Did I leave it in the cold? So please give it back, 'cause it's not yours to take. So it must have felt when I lost my mind. Deep in the cut, drowning in it, babe. Somebody help, 'cause I can't find my way, yeah. So nobody move, nobody move. Somebody tell me
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hey, we're back. That was Jacob Collier and Daniel Caesar with Time Alone With You, and then Ariana Grande with her cover of Them Changes by Thundercat. Okay, so the final part of our talk on volunteerism, the white savior complex, and what else? Voluntourism, white savior complex. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna just wrap it up, and how we're gonna do that?
So I think it would be nice to maybe give some great examples, as you said.
Okay.
Also maybe some Chiang Mai now locals or expats, right?
Yeah.
That do great things. And maybe give some examples that if you volunteer, how you can use social media for good.
Well, okay, so I'll give an example and then you can go for it. Well, actually, I'm not sure about social media, but I remember very early on, and when I hadn't been in Thailand very long, I met this fantastic older American couple. They were in the 70s, and they were just riding around Thailand on an old Honda Dream.
Love it.
Teaching just having conversational English with kids all over the country, literally. And so this is a case of, people going around doing something quite light-hearted, but they were such nice people.
Love it.
They had like this just beautiful energy about them. And I can just imagine it would have been like such a wonderful thing for kids in a village to have this old couple drive in there. They had like toys and games, and they had a few tricks. They were like, just to have them drive in and start sort of talking to the kids.
Love it.
So that was an early sort of example of people who were doing their own thing, really.
Yeah.
But it was very nice.
Who else do you know?
Who else do I know? Well, actually, we're going to have a guest on Relax Time Radio on Sunday. Is it this? I'm not sure if it's this Sunday or next, but Johnny Adhikari, a friend of mine from Meta Charity. We've talked about Johnny on various Relax Time Radio shows before. His charity sort of helps people on the Thai-Burmese border who have no, healthcare or education. And so their volunteers are totally uncompensated. They, get donations of clothes, and the teachers donate their time. Johnny himself, he's like always helping different fundraising events. When there were big flooding events, like happened twice in Burma, like in the last maybe 6 or 7 years, huge floods.
Yeah.
And he himself sort of organized truckloads of supplies and took them there himself, because his family's originally from, I forget the name of the state in Burma. I can't think. It's not coming to my head.
Karen.
No. It's not. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Right.
So Johnny's like a great example. He's Chiang Mai. He lives in Chiang Mai. Helps organize events and. Runs, is a founder of Meta Charity.
Amazing. Yeah, so I mean, I have two examples that are a little bit similar, but like the cause is different, but it's similar in what they do. So, Daughters Rising from Alexa and Hannah.
Yeah.
Alexa is living in Chiang Mai. Hannah is doing it from abroad. And so that's also where I volunteer, and we had the fundraising together for them, right?
Yes.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So Daughters Rising is helping by providing education, job opportunities to ethnic minorities and also refugees from Myanmar to actually prevent sex trafficking, which I think is very, very important.
Yeah.
And we also go out into the communities of the ethnic minorities, far into the jungle, like from Chiang Mai up to 4 hours, 5 hours into the Doi Intanon National Park, Mae Hong Son area, parts of it. And we provide super fun English lessons for the kids. We do super fun workshops with them as well. So that's one of them. And then also, I really love what Lisa is doing with the Thai Freedom House.
Lisa Bird, yeah, we're always talking about Lisa on the show. Yeah.
So the Thai Freedom House connected with the Freebird Cafe.
Right.
And so she's doing a very similar thing. So she basically helps immigrants or refugees from Myanmar to get education. And
She's actually sent, I mean, you know, she's been doing it literally since sort of just teaching kids literally on the street to the point where she now has university graduates from her students. You know?
Yeah, and she has the zero waste shop now as well connected. So she's a great example too. And we also do with Stars Rising have university graduates now. And so it's like it's great because Lisa and us we kind of like have this very similarity, so it's amazing to sometimes just sit down and chat about like how we can improve and everything, you know. So and then I mean there are really so many different ones, but these are obviously the two ones that come into my mind first, right?
There are like so many ways. Like we talked about skills earlier, and if you have skills, it's amazing how you could use them. Like for example, I met an incredible Argentinian guy who was like traveling through traveling around Thailand, mainly in the mountains to meeting different ethnic minorities, and he was traveling with a ukulele. But he was so good on the ukulele, he could play like all the pop songs. Any song that was on the radio, he could play on a ukulele, like Britney Spears or whatever it is at the time. And he was just such a fun guy. And then, so that's like one example of just someone using his like musician skills, engaging with people, you know, spreading a bit of love.
Yeah.
And I also knew a magician, you know, who I once went to an orphanage with, and you know, if you have some kind of skills. You can use it to just make people's lives a little bit brighter and engage with people.
You know, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be a lot, right? You can do a little arts or handicraft workshop with kids. Like they just love, like, you know, the little metal cups, for example, the aluminium ones you can buy in the market. Just bring them and paint them with them. They just love the things. They don't have their own cups sometimes. Like sometimes they carve them out of bamboo. Whatever. Imagine you get your own little cup, you know, and you can even paint it, whatever. Like, it's just a bliss for the kids out there.
Yeah.
And we don't think about the simple things sometimes because we have everything that we need and more. So I think, back to the basics, right?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that the reason why I liked that kind of story is just because even though it's a different kind of thing than dealing with people who are suffering violence or natural disasters in the moment. Nevertheless, like if you have a positive, like people who are aware, like, you know, we're talking about people who are aware of what they're doing here. We're not. I mean, I maybe didn't introduce it in that way, but we're talking, you know, the older couple, American couple, going around teaching kids around Thailand on their motorbike. They were very aware of
100%. I know what you mean.
And so was this Argentinian musician. He was like super switched on.
Music is like the best thing you can do. Music, dance, like that's what I mean with the simple things, right?
Yeah, because
you don't have to bring like how to do photography with your mobile phone. Like they don't have a mobile phone on there. You know what I mean? It's great to do photos, but like that's what I mean. Like I just approve of what you just said too. Yeah.
And you never know where that can spread too, because sometimes, you know, in my life I've met people and when something unusual like that happened, it often has an impact far into the future that you would never expect in people's lives. Just the idea that, you know, the world the bigger world is a friendlier place, this kind of thing. That's something that you can engage with.
Totally. And I love that, you know, like we do collect a lot of donations, especially like, for example, clothes, toys or simple supplies, right? And we also bring it into the communities because they simply don't have anything. But we also bring it into the IDP camps where many of our girls come from that we have scholarships for. And so it's really important that people just know. Sometimes it's really just a shirt.
We have a call actually. I think I'll take
go.
it. Yeah, I'll try and take it. Hello, Relax Time Radio.
Let's see who that is.
Okay, sorry that we disappeared. There was a dead air there. I couldn't understand much about what that caller was going on about. I think. I'm gonna just leave it, and because it's actually almost time for us to say goodbye.
That's right.
And so we I think we've got we could say something to close out the.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, you know, like if you just go and if you go and volunteer, and if you're sure you just want, or if you just have the passion to leave some positive impact behind, right? Make sure it's actually that you want to help people and not that you want to improve your own social media feed or get some extra validation. I think that's really important. And also use the social media in a way for like the storytelling and spreading the message rather than getting all the likes and everything for yourself. I think that's really, really important. And maybe we should tell people quickly where they can find volunteering experiences.
Well, that would be quite a big list. You mean if it's somewhere like Chiang Mai, you mean, or just online or this kind of thing?
Just online, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Well, it's something that I guess you can research online quite easily. There are definitely opportunities.
Or maybe we just, what I would say is that if you're looking for a volunteering experience, make sure that if you ask to be paid, that the payment is only for the accommodation and food, really, and that you don't pay literally for a whole trip, as in like
a package, this kind,
like kind of a safari or whatever. Because for a safari you pay $2,500 or $3,000.
Right.
Don't make the volunteering be a paid experience, because that's not what it's about. Also make sure that it's a company or it's a non-profit that's reputable and that actually has, I feel like it should be having a direct impact, because if you go with those huge organizations, you often don't have very much direct impact, but the direct impact is the one that usually has the biggest one. So like the one that you said, the couple that travels around Thailand, like it will have so much impact on the kids.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we did. I think we covered that pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too.
In that case, we'll say goodbye. Thank you for staying with us if you stayed with us, and please check out Relax Time Radio, other shows going on. Tom is here tomorrow. Basically, Relax Time Radio is every night of the week, 7:30 to 9 p.m. Right here on Radio Thailand, Chiang Mai.
Yeah, and if you have any other follow-up questions, just leave them on
just
the Facebook
post them
post.
in the Facebook post and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all from Mon and I. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. I'm going to leave you with the first song I'm going to leave you with anyways, Dang by Mac Miller with Anderson .Paak. All right, good night.
Good night.
Catch you next time.
On losing you over complications. Gone too soon. Wait, we was just hanging. I can't seem to hold on to. Dang, the people that know me best, the key that I won't forget. Too soon, I can't keep on losing you. I can't keep on losing you.
Mistakes do it take till you leave, and I'm left with my hand and my face all red and the face looking at you like, wait, I know I ain't a saint if it ain't too late. Well, can't keep on losing. I run away so fast, no my heart like gold, but it break like glass. No my shit get old and I act so young, baby you so cold, never had no son. You don't wanna grow up, yeah the shit no fun. So when I get home, I'ma give you some, make you feel like wanna hit that drum. Yeah the dick ain't free, I don't get no fucks. Yeah it's complicated, got you frustrated. Get home late, you don't trust me.
that know me best, the key that I won't forget. Too soon, I can't keep on losing you. Can't keep 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 losing you.
Well, you can't go away, girl, I'ma need you. Play your games like they might take it to an Ivy League school. Won't get Hall of Fame dick from a minor league dude. I see pussy, other people need food. Only got a little time, man, I ain't tryna spend it. Arguing about who ain't giving who attention. Tarting up the engine, need to reboot. I see pussy, other people need food. And I use every bone in my body. Keep on holding on to your trust. I know you don't want nothing to do with me, but just one more time, let's make love. One more time, it ain't much. Fuck 'em all, let's be us. Summer salt, sweetness. Call late drunk, you hang up. What a mess I made of, the sense I make none. It's complicated, keeping me up late. Can't concentrate, you're always on my brain. If it's love, then why the fuck it come with pain? I just think that's some bullshit. Okay, it seems inviting, trust me, she's a titan. This week she like 'em, next week they fighting. Need protection, all your dress is bulletproof. You safe with me, girl.
Can't keep on losing you.
Where the hell you going? Where you taking this trip to?
Wait,
Don't think to.
I can't keep on losing you.
Where the hell you going?
Wait,
Where the hell you going?
I can't keep on losing you. Over complications, gone too soon. Wait, we was just hanging. I can't seem to hold on to. Dang, the people that know me best, the key that I won't forget. Too soon, I can't keep on losing you. Can't keep 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 losing you.
always dropped everything. If any of them needed me, I know they never do the same. Only in my wildest dreams. Maybe I dream too much, cause I sleep too much. Yeah, I've had enough. I'm feeling kinda crazy now. I think they let me down. Why am I having doubts? All of this time I've been fine, enough to manage, but soon enough, although I'm tough, you'll leave my heart so damaged. I may have lost them, but at least I am not them. Along the way they lost themselves. It's no longer my problem. I'll never stop wondering, how could I be so naive? We've been here before, my friend, the wrong way down the one-way street. Maybe I relied too much, so I cried too much. Yeah, I've had enough. I found a friend within myself. I looked to her for help instead of someone else. All of this time I've been fine, enough to manage, but soon enough, although I'm tough, you'll leave my heart so damaged. And I may have lost them, but at least I am not them. Along the way they lost themselves. It's no longer my problem. I tend to dream it's easier for me, but hold on. Soon enough, it's looking up. Soon enough, I'm gone. All of this time I've been fine, enough to manage, but soon enough, although I'm tough, you'll leave my heart so damaged. And I may have lost them, but at least I am not them. Along the way they lost themselves. It's no longer my problem. And all of this time I've been fine, enough to manage, but soon enough, although I'm tough, you'll leave my heart so damaged. And I may have lost them, but at least I am not them. Along the way they lost themselves. It's no longer my problem.
I gotta take some time to grow, but I don't wanna let you go. How did we get too comfortable? I gotta take some time to grow, but without you I'm miserable. I think I got too comfortable. We could take it to the day that I saw you on your way to the top. Or we could take it to the time that I saw you lose your mind and give up. Everybody gets down on luck. Every time you fall I try to pick you up, but I need reciprocation. You got what I need to get through the night. But can you be my rock? Oh, sleeping, can you pull me up? No, I just wanna be your girl and not your mommy's last song. I gotta take some time to grow, but I don't wanna let you go. How did we get too comfortable? I gotta take some time to grow, but without you I'm miserable. I think I got too comfortable.
Yeah. Look at me, water receipts, it's time to grow. I get out of control when I'm alone. If you can make it with me, you can make it on your own. So quit the bullshit and playing on my phone. We just need some time. Keep watching, let it all unwind. You get yours, of course I get mine. And in the end, everything will be fine. That's by design. Well, I don't trip, but I slip, I fall. Sleep all day, maybe miss your calls. Like I've been missing you, still I continue tied up and tripping up, making the wrong decisions, and you sick of it all. But don't leave me, because it feel too good to be easy. Yeah, been a while and I'll leave it there for now. Shit, I'll probably make it better when you sing me.
I gotta take some time to grow, but I don't wanna let you go. How did we get too comfortable? Gotta take some time to grow, but without you I'm miserable. I think I got too comfortable. You got what I need to get through the night. See, I don't ask for much, no. I just wanna talk and touch, no. I just wanna be your girl and not your mom. It's not so long. I gotta take some time to grow, but without you I'm miserable. I think I got
จากนี้ไปเชิญรับฟังสรุปเหตุการณ์และความเคลื่อนไหวที่น่าสนใจตลอดทั้งวันที่ผ่านมากับผมธรรมนุนมุ่งบังอีกสักครู่กลับมาติดตามรายละเอียดครับ